Hey guys, it's Michael here. Pretty early in the morning for me. It's not quite 9 o'clock yet. And not that I haven't been up for hours, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time, this particular video, and I think I'm ready to do it now and hopefully do it in a short enough time span that people will actually endure watching it throughout through the entire length of it. I want to talk about three bands. I see a lot of people that I follow and that I see, or in the music groups on Facebook, and they post a lot of psychedelic music, mostly from the era, the golden era of psychedelic music, this 60s, late 60s, very early 70s. And I think that's awesome. I mean, that was my time, so to speak. That was when I was a young teen and young man, young adult. And I certainly enjoy that music, but psychedelic music didn't die in 1972 or 74. It's always been around once it began, and I think it's kind of interesting. Styles of music kind of come and go, and sometimes they come again, become very dominant. Other times they sort of diffuse and spread out and influence a lot of other so-called genres. I'm not really sure that that's the right term to use when you're talking about rock and roll and rock music. You can, in scientific nomenclature, there are two groups, basically. There are lumpers and there are splitters. Splitters want to make everything a separate species or subspecies. Lumpers kind of say, well, yeah, there's some variations within the species, but they're still one species. I'm kind of a lumper when it comes to music. So anyway, what I'm going to talk about is some later psych music that I never hear anybody mention, and I want to mention them because I think they're brilliant. I think this stuff is great. And the first of these is going to be a band that started in the 80s, and out of all places, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And at one time, very early, I think maybe even before they'd really put out any much recording at all, Brian Ritchie played with this band, and that is the band Plasticland, who I first found in the mid-'80s, and I'm going to show you the records. They're a great band, very much on the garage side of psychedelic music. And what I was saying about psychedelic music, by the way, just to kind of get back to that initial thought. I read a book once where this musicologist, I guess that's what he was, or a critic, attempted to definitively really define garage music and psychedelic music. But I thought, the more as I read the book, and it was an interesting book, I thought, well, you're really being awfully restrictive. By his standard, psychedelic music is, its hallmark is long, extended solos, and I'm thinking, so the Moody Blues aren't psych? Well, the Moody Blues were psych. They were pop psych. And I think they were a much more influential band than a lot of people credit them for. Not that they didn't have predecessors who influenced them as well, but that's neither here nor there. And then there's a more garagey side of psychedelic music. And then, which I think maybe could be best exemplified by, say, a band like 13th Floor Elevators or whatever. But it's a very broad definition, and it has since then, it has kind of pollinated just about everything else. I mean, listen to, you know, an album like 3 Feet High and Rising has some definite flower power going on in it. You know, so I mean, it's just literally, you know, gone everywhere, and I think it's more characterized by unique sound sculpting, soundscapes, an interest in exotic sounds, exotic instruments, I think is definitely sometimes a part of it, but not always by any means. Some of the most psychedelic bands back in the 60s didn't use sitars and stuff. In fact, most of them didn't. But when you have such a broad field, there's a lot of different music that you can hear. Anyway, and likewise with garage, you can't just define garage as being one particular thing with a particular beat, which is what he kind of wanted to do. Every garage band that I ever knew of played a lot of different things, and you know, and oftentimes garage and psych, you know, cross-pollinate each other. I think it's easier to just say, well, those are different aspects of rock music than to try to separate them out into different genres. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm done with that. First band I'm talking about, though, is Plasticland. This is basically Glenn Rees and John Frankovich. I think I've got those names correct, and I can't read very well. I have terrible eyesight. And this was the first album that I ever heard by them, first album I owned by them. It was originally released as, I think the name of it was Color Appreciation, something like that, and it was released in France in 1984, and then Pink Dust, an Enigma record subsidiary, and Enigma was a great label in the 80s and part of the 90s at least. They had great stable of musicians. Picked it up, and they released it, and its initial release was on this lovely kind of bubblegummy pink vinyl. This is a brilliant album. Wonderful cover of Ride My Seesaw, or Magic Rocking Horse, excuse me, on it. I thought Ride My Seesaw was somewhere in here too. Nah, it's Magic Rocking Horse. God, it's great. Great album. Very garage kind of an oriented psychedelic music. They were active for quite a few years. I recently saw a video on YouTube that I'm sure you can look up and find, where they had been inducted into the Wisconsin Hall of Fame, and they were interviewing them, and the band is now defunct, but they had both Glenn Rees and John Frankovich there, and they were talking about, and that they just simply aren't doing much anymore for health reasons and what have you. They're pretty old guys. Great album. I absolutely love them. I love this band. Their second album, Wonderful Wonderland, and these are probably my favorites of what I have by them. But there are a few albums I'm missing, a couple of them, and I'll get to that. And then there are a lot of singles that they put out as well. Salon is, I believe, their third album. And then we have Let's Play Pollyanna, which is kind of a thing. And then I also have, it's a 12-inch single. Is it from Salon? I can't remember. I have to look. And I'm wasting time if I do that too much. was Let's Play Pollyanna off of? Actually, I think it's off of Wonderful Wonderland, apparently. Maybe it's not off of any of this. Well, anyway, great albums. I don't see it on here, so I'm not sure what it came from. I thought it was a single off of one of these, but at any rate, it's another great EP, and then, or really it's a 12-inch single. And then I also have Confetti, which is live and was on Midnight Records. I'm not sure when it was that they went with Midnight. This is a Restless Records release, so that would tell me a little bit right there. Okay, and this is Pink Dust, so yeah, those are, they also made an album. They definitely into the Pretty Things and Pink Fairies and Twink. And one of the albums that I used to have, and that I think went the way of many of my albums in a garage sale, probably to finance moving, is an album called You Need a Fairy Godmother, which is a live album with Twink and Plasticland. And then there's another album, and the name of it escapes me right now, that has come out that I would love to find and look them up. Great band. If you dig psychedelic music and you are not familiar with these guys, get familiar. You will dig them. I can guarantee you that. Okay, now, and this in part I have kind of coming up because of some other things that are going on. There's a band that I initially found out about, I think it was in the late 80s, or no, would have been in the 90s. And I tried to find the photograph that I know I have somewhere, but I just can't find it anywhere. Well, okay, see, I'm trying to find it while I'm talking. And that is this band, The Luck of Eden Hall. This was the first record I got by them, and it is the first thing they ever put out on vinyl. They had put out a CD a year or two previously to this, or not a CD, a cassette that I've never heard. But this was their first pressing to wax. And the songs are Hook, Line, and Sinker and Looking Glass. Then they didn't do anything for a goodly while. I think they had another album that they were going to put out and something happened. I'm not really sure what the deal was. But the band itself apparently was still kind of, going on. The two main guys in the band are Greg Curvey, and Mark Lofgren. And they're based in Chicago. This is a Chicago-based band, and they are absolutely incredible. So I'm going to show you what I have by them, and I know there's more, but this is what I got, and that's about all I can say. Let me go through the singles kind of. Well, actually, I have a couple of things by them that are, sort of special little things, and this is one of them. This was sent to me free. Curvy threw it in with an order when I placed a couple of orders in the past couple of years, and I really need to revisit and see what else they've got going, because I seem to miss a lot of things. This is a flexi on the Fruits de Mer. It's on Fruits de Mer, actually, label, which is a highly collectible label out of England. It's very hard to get in the States. Unless something has changed, you cannot order directly from them outside of the UK. There are a couple of guys who are distributors or sellers who you can order from, but they're very collectible stuff. Anyway. Psychotic Reaction by Count 5. He just threw that in, little knowing that this is one of my all-time favorite songs from back at that time. This is very much a garage psych kind of song. I absolutely love it. And then we have some albums, and I'm trying to do this in semi chronological order. I think I'm getting these in the right order. This is Victoria Moon, and it's on a label called Headspin Records, which is they're the only band I know of on it, so I think it's their own label. But they really do a nice job. Let me just show you how beautiful this stuff is. This is beautiful gatefold, absolutely gorgeous artwork. The artwork is by Curvy, who I don't know what else he does, but I suspect guy's just got to be some kind of a artist or graphic designer or something in the arts. And then at the time there was a couple of choices. I chose the lime green. I think the other color was a pink or something. I wanted the lime green, and I think I got the last one of the lime greens. Anyway, the album is called Victoria Moon, and it is just brilliant stuff. It is fantastic. And then right around the same time, they put out this album, which was only available as a CD with a limited edition with each one of the covers, the J cards or whatever they call them, the inserts, having been handmade by Curvy. The name of the album is Alligators Eat Gumdrops. And it is an incredibly good record. I got lucky. I was too late to order this. It sold out, and this is something that happens with their stuff. It does sell out pretty quick. But I had ordered the single, and the single has, if I can open it, it has a couple of non-LP songs on the A side. Crystal Ship, the Doors song, and Black Sheep, another classic 60s psych song. And then on the B side is Bangalore and This Is Strange, which are songs off of this album, right? Pretty sure I'm right here on that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Great album. You can still get this. When I got it, of course, you get a free download, right? And the free download, though, was the album. So I got really lucky on that. I was so pleased to have that. Then we have this album and its accompanying single. And this is an album that's kind of hard to pronounce unless you're into scientific nomenclature. Butterfly Revolutions, Volume 1 and 2. If you go to the Bandcamp, their Bandcamp site, you'll find, I'm going over, I can already tell, you'll find that they're sold as separate volumes, Volumes 1 and Volume 2. I think that's right. But here we are with the album, Butterfly Revolutions. Isn't that beautiful? Great artwork, always. This guy does just fantastic artwork. And again, they're a beautiful lyric sheet. Something I greatly appreciate is our lyric sheets. They're albums that I absolutely love. That's the one flaw, the one fault I would place. And on beautiful color. this gorgeous orange, kind of a sherbet color, and then this really beautiful teal. And these are fantastic albums. Now, how would I describe the Luckett of Eden Hall and their sound? Well, they like Moog and synthesizers and keyboards along with their guitar and what have you. And so I would class them in pretty heavily influenced by the Brit psych pop kind of thing. Absolutely fantastic songs. And then this, which has the Happiness Vending Machine and Arthropoda Lepidoptera, the two songs. And these are singles from the album. And on this delicious, I always think of gum when I think of these colors. It reminds me of Double Bubble or something. And the Happiness Vending Machine. Fantastic album. I recommend it very highly. And their most recent, which was, I think, 2016, 2015, I don't remember when it came out now, called The Acceleration of Time. And another double album, concept album, lyrics all printed inside, the lyrics are printed inside, but then there's also an insert with a kind of, called The Accelerating Man, which kind of gives a bit of a story. And again, just absolutely beautiful vinyl. In this case, both discs in this gorgeous, pristine white vinyl. Great album, great band. Now, why am I talking about them now after all that? Well, first of all, there's so much that I would like to say that I don't really have down, and so I've tried multiple times, but they do play live, and they will be playing live along with the third band that I want to talk about, that I really feel I never ever see anybody say anything about them, and that is this band, the Red Plastic Buddha. These guys are out of Chicago as well, fronted by Tim Ferguson, who writes virtually everything. They do great covers, by the way, of other bands as well. I'm trying to see which one well, for example, Too Much to Dream Last Night, the Electric Prunes song, great stuff. And they've only put out 3 records, and they are only available as either CD or download, but you can get them from their Bandcamp site. This one, their first one, was called The Sunflower Sessions, and it's a fairly short album, 33 minutes and 38 seconds, and it's just fantastic. And there's been some evolution of the sound over the years, but they're very much more garage oriented than pop, if you can go, get that broad, but definitely have a pop edge too. And one fierce band, which if you check them out on YouTube, and you can find some stuff, and then just go to Bandcamp and stream some of their albums, or better yet, buy them, and you will dig it. The Red Plastic Buddha's second album was called All Out Revolution, and it's just, I think, great. It does say all songs suitable for airplay. That's nice. This one was on Space Cat Records, Spade Kitty Records, Space Cat Records, and then the third one, which is only available as a download, sadly, it really is Songs from Mara. Now, Tim calls this the dark album, and it is darker, I would say, than than the first two records, but it is still absolutely great. She's an alien. Well, they're just great. They're just really great. And I wish I had this as a physical like this, because there's always information that is on the Bandcamp site when you go and you look at it, but then you don't have it like here, where there's a whole series, all the information, who's playing and all that stuff, and the cool pictures of the band, which the band has gone through personnel changes. Now, one of the reasons I'm talking about this is that Tim is doing a thing called the Kaleidoscopic Eye Music Festival on September 8th and 9th in Chicago at the Live Wire. And both Red Plastic Buddha and the Luck of Eden Hall will be playing at that. So I'm really, really hoping I can get up there. Chicago is such a great music town. I'm weird about big cities. I absolutely freak out. It's like I practically have a nervous breakdown when I'm in a really large city. Even Kansas City, which isn't really that huge, absolutely freaks me out. I mean, I just get freaked out real easy. I don't know why. I'm a country boy. Last thing I'll show you, I guess, before I sign off here this is Crabstock. It was the Fruits du Mer Record Festival of Psychedelia and an introduction to their records and some of its artists. And the cool thing, this was another freebie that was sent to me by the Luck of Eden Hall, is that Fruits du Mer put out some years back now, I'm going to guess 4 years ago, maybe even, an album called Sorrow's Children, the songs of SF Sorrow, which was the concept album by the Pretty Things. And the song SF Sorrow is Born was done for that album by the Luck of Eden Hall. So that's why I've got it. And then there are bands from over here covering bands from over there. So those are, I guess, American bands. Then there's another section of bands from over there covering bands from over here, which is British psych bands covering American bands, and then new songs from Fruits du Mer artists. It's a great label. There are some other great labels equally, and I'll talk about them in another video, because I've already gone way over what I said I was going to do, and I don't know that I can make it any shorter. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope I informed you about something here. Anyway, peace out.